Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Comfort Level Podcast. I'm Maddie, and I'm here with
Brandon.
Sam.
And today we're gonna listen to some Reddit stories.
Beep, bop, boop, boop.
Hey,
Beep.
stop making monkey noises. Drax told me that.
Boop.
You remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
We all Me and Brandon laughed a little too hard at that in the theater.
I was laughing at Drax the entire time. He was killing it.
Yeah.
My
It was
daughter
his
loves
movie.
when I make monkey noises.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, boop, 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 bop, bop.
Bop.
I think he's been killing it for like the last two movies.
He carried the galaxies.
And for me, a little bit too much Rocket.
Oh. Wow, I think
I'm like, okay, we get it. You were tortured as a little baby.
It was his origin story.
I know, but did I want to see it? It was gross. To see that little rabbit spider thing. Ew. You know? I get why he wanted to burn them. Because they were disgusting.
Don't disrespect
Okay.
Flora like that.
And I know other people feel the same way as I do.
he's literally like the creator. What's that guy's name, Brandon?
That's what I'm like,
The high evolutionary.
why are people going after this creator? He can do what he wants. He made him. You know? Speaking about things that shouldn't be here. Reddit story.
Sam, we talked about last week how Sam has evolved into introducing all the stories, and I think that we should just do that from now on.
But I got to blind introduce them.
Yeah. Wait, what did you just say?
Speaking of things that shouldn't be here.
Am I the asshole for fat shaming my friend's autistic boyfriend?
Whoa.
Sam.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Whoa.
I think so, probably.
Yeah. That
Okay.
sounds like one of those you took
I'm
it too
against-
far for no
yeah,
reason.
I'm against fat shaming.
Okay. Am I the asshole for fat shaming my friend's autistic boyfriend? My mom and stepdad had to go see my grandparents because of some emergency, so it was just me, 19 female, and my twin siblings, 8 female and 8 male. I had planned on inviting 2 friends, and my parents said I still could. One of my friends brought her boyfriend, Mike. I usually don't mind, the more the merrier, but I'm not really a fan of his. He's kind of a dick and blames it on his autism, but I don't know. I'm not really educated on all of that. Anyways, my sister was playing in their playroom, but my brother was bored and wanted attention. He's really into having abs and muscles and being strong right now. He does gymnastics and all of that, and he was doing cartwheels and stuff till he got a little dizzy. He sat on my lap and started showing me his arms and asked if his muscles got bigger. He's 8, so he still has little arms, but I said, oh my God, they're totally getting bigger. Mike randomly interrupts to go, nah, man, you got a noodle arms. My brother didn't really catch what he said, so he just brushed it off, but I was upset. I discreetly told him to shut the fuck up, but Mike was all, what? I'm just telling him the truth. He has to do a lot more than that to get some real muscles. Noodle-ass kid. I reminded him that my brother is 8, but he said that his age is irrelevant here. My brother then decided to show us another gymnastics move. I think it's a round off, but he did it and we all clapped for him, except of course Mike. He went, that was anticlimactic. He continued with, no offense, but this is the most unimpressive kid ever. Get out of here with your skinny ass.
Oh, my God.
I was honestly so pissed off at this point that I sarcastically said, I'd like to see your fat ass try to do what he did. He immediately got upset and his girlfriend gasped like I had just said something outrageous. Where was her horror when her boyfriend was insulting my kid brother? But Mike got all up in my face about being a bitch before leaving. His girlfriend told me that I went too far, especially since I know he has autism and that she can't believe that I fat shamed him when he isn't even that fat. Besides, he isn't wrong, and your brother's annoying. My other friend that was there told me that what he did was rude, but I did too much.
Well, I don't think the actual noodle arm comment was bad. 'Cause I'm like, I feel like you could say that to a kid. Like, yo, noodle arm. Like, I guess if he wasn't saying it in a joking way, like he was like, no, he's like looking him dead in the eye. He's like, you are a little kid. Like, I guess that's a different, but I'm like, I've said stuff like that to kids. And it's funny, and we all have fun. But yeah, like
The afterwards.
saying like this is the most unimpressive kid. I'm like, what is your problem? This dude's 8. You can't say that to kids like that.
And especially, isn't it like the old adage of like, okay, if you're going to dish it out, you got to be able to take it, right? So if you're going to make fun of an 8-year-old kid, if he can't say anything, his sister or his sibling is going to say something.
Yeah.
So maybe just be able to take the fact that, you know, she called you a fat ass, basically. And you called her a bitch, so it's like, whatever.
That's why I'm like, how far along on the spectrum is this guy? Because I'm like, at least from any autistic person I've known, they'll say unintentionally mean things. Mm-hmm. They'll say it in a way like, oh yeah, I'm just saying matter of fact.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just the way you're reading it. I'm like, this sounds like a jerk. The way he's talking sounds like a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I've ever met somebody that's on the spectrum for autism. So I literally don't know, but I guess I'm taking her word for it.
Yeah.
Like you were just saying, I don't know how much of a on the spectrum he is to be like, oh, or like
to let you get away with comments like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, or like even like tone. You
Yeah.
can't tell tone from reading, or like, you know. So it's like, dang, there's that added part of the story that we're kind of missing for the context. But it's like, man, no, that is too far. Like there has to be some sort of redirection. After the first one, it's like, okay, he's just gonna keep saying stuff like this.
Right.
We got to just shut it down or something.
Well, even because, like, from what you're saying, like, your understanding of somebody with autism, Sam, is like they would never outright say something like this. Like,
well, because I've known a couple people, they might say like, "This is the most unimpressive thing," but they'll say it like, "This isn't," because they see everybody clapping. They're like, "Why are you guys clapping? It's not even that good."
Yeah.
But they're not saying it like, I don't know. It really is the tone of how you say it. Like you can tell they're not like, dang, I'm trying to roast this dude.
Yeah.
They're just like, no, this isn't good. I don't get why we're lying to the kid. So I'm like, if the tone is different,
yeah.
it doesn't just sound like some jerk like, man, this sucks, man. Why are y'all stop clapping? Stop clapping. I hate this kid. It's a different thing.
Or even the line where he says, no offense, but this is the most unimpressed kid ever, right? So you're like, maybe they would say that.
Yeah.
But then would they say, get out of here with your skinny ass?
No, that's a funny thing. That's I'm like, no, this dude's a jerk, actually.
Top comment, not the asshole, you just protected your brother. Another comment, I'd be pissed at this supposed friend too. No one can call your sibling annoying except for you, you know. Another comment, I'd kick all those friends out and never let them back in for trying to background dogpile on a literal kid. Fuck the friend and her mic and all the others who didn't see an issue with how he was talking to and about that child. While I don't agree with the fat shaming, I think old boy deserved a little taste of his own medicine. Hopefully it'll change how he interacts with people. Probably not, but they won't be coming back to your place or pick on your brother anytime soon. Somebody said this, I am fat and Mike had that coming. They're like, I'm fat and Mike had that coming.
Yeah.
Somebody else commented underneath that, I'm autistic and he had that coming. Just good old Reddit.
That's Reddit for you.
That's Reddit.
Speaking of Reddit, we read it, so let's move on to the next one.
I feel indifferent about that one.
That was one of the most unimpressive segues I've seen.
Why is everybody clapping?
Yeah. Stop clapping.
Thank you.
Stop clapping.
Thank you, guys.
It wasn't good. How did you get in here anyway? All of you.
It's okay. We can stop.
Get out.
Seriously, it's no big deal. Oh,
Get out.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I hate it.
Am I the asshole for getting high so my relatives don't try and pawn their children on me?
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
I'd say no too.
Yeah, I'd say no.
That's fine.
Because I feel like it's like a plus. Like you get to be high for people that want to be high, and then you also don't have to watch kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the
So Brandon, who
trifecta.
was like, I don't want to be high, but then you don't have to watch kids. Just lie and be like, sorry, I'm
I'm
high right
high.
now.
I'm high right now.
I can't watch these kids. Am I the asshole for getting high so my relatives don't try and pawn their children on me? I live in British Columbia, and my family often hosts at our home because we live on a lake. However, I seem to always get roped into watching the kids, which means I don't get to enjoy my life when we have guests. My husband will drink beer with his brother and dad, and my mother-in-law and sister-in-law will go on winery visits, and I end up at the house responsible for my nieces and nephews. So last weekend, I made sure I was high as fuck when they showed up. My husband and his brother had to watch the kids because I was in no condition. Their mom is pissed at me because she trusts me to make better choices. I told her that my free time is valuable and I wasn't free childcare. My husband had already had a few, so his brother had to stay sober. Poor baby. My husband thinks I should have tried talking to them again for the 15th time instead of getting fucked up. I think they now know better than to ask me if I want to watch the kids.
You're not the a-hole. It's your free time. Do with it what you want. Now, I could understand if it was like, hey, I'm going to do a date night. Can you handle the kids, Like, if you reached out in advance, it's like, hey, can you do this just one time? But it's like, it seems reoccurring for this person. So, hey, your free time is your free time. Do what you got to do. That's on them.
Yeah, you're definitely not the asshole. I remember when I was younger, and so like I was like part of, I guess, my aunts and uncles generation, where I was like one of the youngest cousins. So whenever people would come over and they started having kids, I would hang out with their kids. And when I was younger and I was still a kid, I was like elementary school, middle school, I thought it was fun because we would like go like play like cops and robbers or tag or something like that. And then eventually, you get to the point where you want to get to the adults table and play some Cards Against Humanity and, say some inappropriate stuff with all your other cousins. And I'm like, I don't want to hang out with these guys anymore. Like, I was like, I don't want to play pretend at, 17 years old. And so I'd be like, I'd play for a little bit. We'd go to the park or something. And then I would like come back to the kitchen and they're like hanging there with me. And I'm like, hey. And they're like, hey. And I'm like, I'm going to just sit here and talk. And they're like, you don't want to go play or anything? I'm like, no, I just want to talk to everybody. And they're like, oh. And I don't know, I kind of get both sides where you're watching the kids and then it turns into hanging out. Well, you're hanging out with the kids and then it turns into watching the kids.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I literally don't see anybody else because I'm with you guys for like 2.5 hours. And I can understand if that was every single time that you hung out, your husband and brother-in-law are hanging out and then, the other women are going to a winery and getting drunk. What the heck? And you're the only one left with these kids?
Yeah.
I'd be upset too. I'm like, we can't switch every once in a while?
Right. I agree with Maddie. I'm like, even now to this day, I'm still a person who's like hanging out with the kids. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, kids will come to me and I'm like, I think I somewhat prefer it. Mm-hmm. But if it was an obligation, that would be a different thing. Because I'm like, oh no, I just like hang out with the kids. And then I'll just walk away and go to the adults. And that's how I like it. But if they were like getting drunk and then just leaving,
Yeah.
I would be furious. No, you get drunk and you stay here.
You stay here and you talk to me
Exactly.
while I'm playing with blocks with your kids.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're single, or not single, but if you just have no kids, I hate anyone pushing their kids on you. Like, I did my part. I didn't have kids, so because I have fun. You did this.
You brought kids into this world,
so
not
take
me.
care of your responsibility.
Yeah.
I think what you said was really well put together. Just having the option instead of the obligation. Because at any family party, I always have the option too. I was playing with, what is it, for Memorial Day. And the kids are reckless on my mom's side.
Yeah.
They are one of my little cousins, I call her a reverse Sour Patch Kid. Because she's super sweet when you first meet her, you play with her, and then she just starts cutting up. And I'm just like, bro, you got to chill out. Like, we can't be doing this. But yeah, just like having that option is great. But like when it's an unsaid obligation.
Yeah.
Top comment, not the asshole, and your husband is the biggest asshole. He was just as happy with the previous scenario because he still got to drink and socialize while you were the one being held hostage too. The expectation of forced babysitting duties. He didn't even remain sober to help you watch his nieces and nephews. He had the exact same expectations as his family that he could drink and schmooze while you chased the kids. And isn't he such a great guy to bring a babysitter for the family? He got all the benefits and goodwill of doing the family a favor while you were stuck with the actual work of it. He should have put a stop to it from day one. And if he was the one who stuck with the kids from the beginning, he would have.
So you should divorce him.
Next comment,
Yeah,
divorce
nice.
with like
Divorce
the most
him,
upvotes.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of brother-in-law, next story. See, we're just, it's the next cycle. It's just smooth. It's nothing crazy. It's, easing you in. It's not making you be like, hey,
I know, but the ones that make you shout, hey, were the good ones. These are just like, so like, speaking of the next story. Ding, ding.
You're so critical of everything, Sam. You're critical when it's good. You're critical when it's bad. You're critical when it's boring. How am I supposed to know which one you like?
I think you're finally getting my personality. It's been years that we've known each other, but this is me.
Brandon,
I don't have any
let's
words.
enjoy this podcast together.
Okay. Just
Where's
the
the
three of us. We
Just
can
the
make
two
it
of
if we try. Just
Just
the
the
three
two
of
of
us. Me
Just
and
the
you and
two
also
of us.
me.
Oh, is Sadia here?
Oh, dang.
Yada, 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 yada.
Am I the asshole for making my brother-in-law pay for his son's meal after I said it was a treat?
Oh, yeah.
That's messed up.
Actually, unless the son was like, he's like, oh, yeah, he says a treat. Get everything on the menu.
Get me leftovers.
Yeah, get me food.
Am I the asshole for making my brother-in-law pay for his son's meal after I said it was a treat? I don't see my sister and her family very often, so when I do, I tend to splurge on them. I am child-free for now and the foreseeable future, but probably not forever. I took her family out for dinner and I said it was my treat. So it was my sister, her husband, his mom who lives with them, myself, and 3 kids aged 15, 12, and 10. I took them out to a steak place in their city I always wanted to try. My 15-year-old nephew looks at the menu and says he wants the tomahawk steak. I said it was 3 pounds of meat plus 3 full sides and he should probably pick something smaller. My brother-in-law said his kid can eat it all and that I said it was my treat and that I'm trying to cheap out. It is $190 for the steak.
Oh, my God.
I said fine, but if he doesn't eat it all, then you have to pay for it. He agreed. We order and the waiter tells us that the tomahawk is usually shared between several people since it comes with 3 shareable portions of sides as well. I asked my brother-in-law if he's sure. He looks at the kid and smiles and says, no problem.
You got this.
We ordered, and when the food came out, the tomahawk and the sides took up almost half of the table.
Oh, my God.
No.
The kid finishes less than a quarter of the steak.
Oh, no, I didn't even do half.
And only a little bit of the sides. When the bill came, I asked to pay for 7 meals, all the drinks, and all the tip. The tomahawk steak on a separate bill for my brother-in-law. He paid it with ill grace. My sister said that he used the budget they had earmarked to take the family to see a new Spider-Man movie. I felt bad, but I think he was an asshole to try and waste my money. He thinks I'm an asshole for following through and making him pay for something that mostly went to waste. Yes, they took the leftovers home.
Ooh, yeah, they should have.
Yeah. You better take those leftovers.
$190?
That's crazy.
That's before tip?
I would say he's not an asshole because he tried to give him an out. And he was like, nah, my kid can do this. Like, that was your chance. You're like, the waiter's like, yeah, this is like whole families need to eat this. And you're trying to say this one guy? He's like, you ain't seen my son eat a grande burrito before.
You ain't seen my gordito wrap looking ass son eat a tomahawk steak before.
That's crazy that he did that. Because my only thing is when I treat people, like treat a group of people, I never say it until the end.
Right.
You don't say it to the end, so they think they're buying their own, and you're like, I got this, guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, because they got us out like because they're broke or something. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll pay for that water. Like, you always say it at the end. You don't say it before, and then people are like, because you always get them like, well, no, I can get the expensive stuff. People always make that joke, but some people are like, no, I actually am going to get the expensive stuff because you're saying it's your treat. Mm-hmm. Don't ever say it at the beginning. Always say it after they ordered.
That's a life lesson.
That's a life lesson, man.
That's my cousin, man.
Yeah.
My cousin always be dropping gems.
Yeah. That's why I got money to this day.
That's my cousin, man.
Also, only take him to Taco Bell, too.
Yeah, no, betting on your 15-year-old son is insane. That's crazy. That is so wild.
He was really bold about it, too. He was like, he can do it.
He said the confidence I imagine this man had was like, you know, like when you're playing Uno and like you got the last two cards and it's like the last card and it's like a draw 4, but it's like the pick your color. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win this regardless. Like, I don't care what nobody does to me. Yeah, my son's gonna finish it. Draw 4, Uno out. And it's just like, no, you're not.
You had a skip, my guy. You didn't have anything. You got that much confidence with a skip, with a reverse. He's like, I'm about to win this.
No, just a regular face card.
It's a 2.
You got that much confidence with a blue 2.
Yeah, that man was
advantageous.
I guess. I'm trying to what is a word for like it was right in front of his face, but he chose not to look at it. What's a word for that?
Willful ignorance.
Yeah, yes, thank you. He was willfully ignorant. Like, why would you even bet that? You're like, okay, there might, because don't you think about that when you do a bet? You're like, there might be a chance that I have to pay for this. Okay, that's $190. That's a lot of money. I'm looking at my 15-year-old child, and I'm supposed to be counting on them to finish a meal for 3 or 4 people usually. Like, what?
And that's from like, because they're talking about like it's their budget, and they
that's
paid
on you.
their budget. I'm like, so you wouldn't have let your son eat this if it was you?
Yeah.
I mean, you're just doing this seemingly to be a jerk. Like, this guy's being nice. He's like, I'm buying 7 dinners
at a steakhouse.
It was going to be 8 dinners, but I'm like, I'm for everybody.
Yeah.
And like, that's him being generous, and you're like, well, let's run it up.
And that's not even him.
Run it.
Yeah.
That's not even him saying that he's gonna buy. He wants you to buy something cheap, like what you're saying, Sam.
Yeah.
Of like, you know, people are. He's like, I'm telling you beforehand. You don't have to worry about the bill, but he's like, just don't get something as absurdly expensive that you're not gonna eat. I know you're not gonna eat that. That's why I said don't get it. You know.
So was the dad mad at the son after? Is he just he's like starting to sweat because he's like, oh, so he's slowing down there. He's like, oh my.
Give me a plate. Give me a plate.
And the son's like, oh. He's like, eat more. Keep eating. The son's like, I'm full.
I kind of want to redo this as like a skit. That'd be so funny to reenact. Just no, give me a plate. Give me.
Top comment, not the asshole. My treat does not mean abuse my generosity. It would have been one thing if the teen had actually eaten the entire thing. You said if he eats for it, I'll pay. If not, you pay. Good for sticking to that. Next one, not the asshole. This 100%. But I think it would be my last treat meal, especially since they tried to take advantage of you. And then sister tried to guilt you. Seriously, with movie tickets, how many movie tickets are they buying?
Well, he said 7, so that means there's 6 people. No, there's 7 people because he didn't pay for the son.
But even so, it's like, I mean,
so there's 7 people.
$70, $80.
Well, when people go to the movie, when families go to the movies, it's different. They be spending like $150 at a movie theater because it's so expensive. Because I'm like, I know people with family, they're like, yeah, we save up every 2 months to go to the movie theater. You're like, because it's so expensive for so many people to go.
They don't just sneak snacks in?
No. Did I tell you that Beth, she had the pregnant belly? She like had a styrofoam
did she?
thing and she would put food in there.
Why are you saying it as if it's like a sad thing though? Did she get caught with it?
No, she never got caught.
Oh. I
mean, I was disappointed in her.
No.
Why?
That's great.
I didn't like it. I was like, this is dishonest. And then she would hand me a chip with nacho cheese on it and I'm like, But I think I might let it slide.
just this once.
We got Tostitos. She pulls out a jar. Like,
You eat Tostitos at the movie theater?
If it's in a pregnant belly.
I only eat it when I'm on vacation.
Really?
Yeah. That's
You're
the
not
next
a fan?
story.
That was good.
Okay.
That was good.
I couldn't. I was like, wait.
But then I'm like, then you're lying. You don't eat on vacation. There's no way you eat Tostitos cheese on vacation.
Who
It
knows?
was so fast. I was just like, oh, was that the segue?
yeah. Well, it was.
Have you one time eaten cheese on Tostitos cheese on vacation?
I have no idea because
I
I
can
don't
almost,
see
I would
the
almost
brand.
bet my life you haven't.
I probably haven't. No. Am I the asshole for saying I'll be driving myself and paying for my own room on the upcoming family vacation so I won't have to be a babysitter?
Dang, that's a lot of people just don't like kids.
They said, I'm not watching your
I
kids.
ain't watching your kids.
I hate watching them. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, you're not. Anything where kids are getting forced on you, I'm always against. I love kids though.
You sound like you love kids.
I do. I just, for a period of time.
Am I the asshole for saying I'll be driving myself and paying for my own room on the upcoming family vacation so I won't have to be a babysitter? I, 23 male, was repeatedly stuck playing the part of the helper and babysitter on family outings. I had to move out of my parents' house because I kept being forced to help watch my 3 nephews. Last year, we took a family vacation in the summer to the coast. I rode along with my parents and they paid for my hotel room. Only I had to share that room with 3 rowdy boys because my sister and her husband wanted to room to themselves. I was promised time to do my own things on the vacation, but instead I ended up having to help with these kids. I complained to everyone about it and was reminded that I was there for free. And then we pretty much just did only one thing that I wanted to do, which was tour an art gallery. I like doing this whenever I'm at the coast, but the kids find it boring. This year, my parents had a beach trip planned for June, and they assumed I'd be riding along the same way as last year, but I refused. I said that I'd be driving myself and paying for my own hotel stay to have my own room. My parents were shocked and tried to remind me of the cost. I said it was no worry. I got a good job and a decent running car. I can more than afford it. That's when the but started. I stated the previously listed things as why I'll be driving myself and paying for my vacation. I want to be able to enjoy this vacation as an adult and not be treated like a child last year. My parents told my sister, and she called to blow up at me, that I'll be ruining the vacation if I'm off doing my own thing while she was there to wrangle her 3 boys. I ended up yelling at her that last year all she did was rope me into her mess. I really didn't get to do much of anything that I wanted to do, and I was treated like the bad guy for wanting to just go to an art gallery. I'm a grown man. I deserve my own vacation too. Now my sister is not speaking to me, and my parents are still trying to convince me to just ride with them to keep the peace. I'm still refusing, but the pressure is getting to me. Am I the asshole for not giving in? I know they'll have a pretty hard time when they won't have another person there to help.
It's not your job.
Yeah.
I think the worst part about it is that the parents are also in on it. It's like, bro, no one told y'all to have those kids.
Right.
Because you can't enjoy art. Like, what would happen if he just didn't go on the vacation in the first place?
Same thing.
Same
Yeah.
thing. And they'd be like, oh, you came here for free. Now you can hold that over his head or her head. It's a he.
Mm-hmm.
That's so unfair.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I mean, why don't you just budget money to hire like a babysitter or something that's specifically there to watch the kids?
Or do the best vacation for kids, a cruise. There just be gangs of kids on these cruises that have no parents in sight. I'm like, they can't go nowhere. There's a boat.
And they just bully you on the boat all the time. It's just like a scurry of kids just like, hey, you're like, oh my God.
You're like running
away
from the basketball court because that's where they all like
that's
to
where they
meet up.
all that's where they regenerate. It's like, where do you just form from? You just form from the middle of the basketball court.
Get him. He's an adult.
But I'm totally on this guy's side. If I'm doing a vacation that I want to do, I hate being obligated to anyone. I don't want you to say I have to do anything on a vacation. This is a vacation. If I'm going to go to the boring art museum and stay and look at art freaking hours, because that is boring. And I am saying that's boring. Who goes on vacation and goes to a museum? Like
you don't want to
Maddie.
hear about what I did
Maddie
yesterday.
does. Maddie, was that a
Well,
museum?
that's different.
It's worse.
It's a science museum.
But where was I at for like 10 minutes just staring at it like it was a game machine?
Was it that one
I should have
downtown?
recorded it. Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you where I was at. Right, so it's a beautiful science, museum. You get to like actually like touch and see all these different experiments. There's a plant section. And then there's an area where you can find your perfect plant. And you basically take a quiz and you figure out like how much you're going to be around to water it, and if you want indoor, outdoor, if you want edible, if you want pretty, and you find the plant that you want. It's like, hey, this tomato plant would be great for you. And then it's like, do you want the seed? And you say yes, and then it comes out like, boop, 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 and then you just pick it up. And I got about 4 different types because I kept taking the quiz because I was enjoying it. I was like, I want more seeds.
That's the least exciting part of that museum.
I know.
And she was going crazy on it. It was... She was like moving through this museum the first half, and I was just like, let's slow down, like maybe like let's like this, all these things are pretty cool. Second we get to the plant thing, she's over here just like, yes,
Yes.
taking this quiz. I'm like, she's like, wow, this museum is really cool. I'm like,
There's like a
you
sign
said that
that
halfway
says
in?
only one quiz per person. They're gonna make the Madi rule. Only one quiz per person. We never had anyone take 4.
No, she took like 6.
I've yet to plant them too. I just enjoyed the experience. Well, there's an edit. There's multiple edits and updates. So I think
Okay.
I'll just blaze through them.
Okay.
Blaze through 'em, girl.
Okay, so edit. Oh, we need that sound effect. Yeah. It's barely been an hour since I posted. My sister is apparently a Reddit lurker in the mornings, and she saw my post. Not only is she furious with me, but she's also upset no one in the comments is siding with her.
Oh man.
Plot thickens.
To make it short, she went on a big rant about how it's so hard to be parents to triplets. And the least I could do is to help because I'm young and single, and she needs a break. I stood my ground on my decision, and now she's calling our parents to get them involved. I'm expecting a call from them any minute. Update number 1. Well, I'm off to work now, so I can tell more of what went down. I guess you could say it's over. My sister got our parents involved. They looked up my post and were absolutely horrified by the continuous influx of commenters. Yes, they were very angry with me that I posted here, but I told them that if they just listened to me to begin with, then I never needed to. I'm sick of the whole keep the peace mentality that sacrifices me to placate my sister.
Mm-hmm.
They, in turn, went off on my sister, and to make a long story short, the whole vacation has been canceled.
Oh my gosh.
The hotel wasn't booked yet anyway, but my parents are arguing with my sister, and my sister is blaming me. And my nephews are crying because they aren't going to the beach. My sister called me at lunch and basically implied that I have no life, which is why I have time to help. I recorded that and told her parents, and that's currently what they're fighting about.
You're not a grown man. You're not a grown man.
This is just a regular sibling argument with kids.
Yeah. Small update. I wasn't going to update again, but here's a little more. Parents said they won't ever push babysitting of my nephews on me again, and have agreed that what happened last year was very unfair to me. Right now, they're very angry with my sister for telling me that I should help her because she thinks I have no life. My sister is playing the victim, and my brother-in-law is basically saying nope to the whole mess and spending most of his time at work. Thank you to everyone who has commented. You made my day.
You know what I think is happening from
What?
the updates? I think the parents like read the first one. They're like, man, their parents suck because of what they did. They're like, write the update. Say that we're on your side now. They're like constantly reading them. They're like, are they saying good things about us now? Do they like the update?
Yeah.
Do they like because that's the only reason they would completely change. Is like, people hate us. The world hates us. Tell us the update. Write the update, son.
There's
We're
an
on your
influx.
side.
Oh, snap.
Next story.
Uh,
Yeah. Probably the best one I've ever done. Right?
yeah, that was really good.
Am I the asshole for banning my sister-in-law from my house over tomato sauce?
Yeah.
If you got it in my carpet, no.
Okay. I, 28 female, have an older brother, 32 male. He is married to my sister-in-law, 33 female. I get along with her well, except for this one point. If you don't keep an eye on her, she will get into the kitchen and add seasonings to whatever is cooking. She thinks she is fixing stuff, but not all foods need turmeric in it. This Saturday, I received 40 pounds of tomatoes. It took me the whole weekend to turn it into a sauce that I was planning to can. I can it plain and then add whatever seasonings and herbs it needs depending on the recipe. They came to take a bag of spare clothes for one of their kids, and in the 5 minutes it took me to get it, she managed to get into the kitchen, add salt, pepper, turmeric, olive oil, garlic powder, and Italian herbs to all of the 5 pots that were simmering on the stove. And when I asked her what she was doing, she had the audacity to say, "The sauce needed some taste. I added it for you." Like, I've never told her to not touch what I was cooking before. I was so angry that I knew I couldn't be calm talking with her, so I simply walked to my brother and told him to take the clothes and his wife and that she is no longer welcome in my home. She had followed me, was shocked, and started apologizing, but I just ignored her. I added that he should come by tomorrow and take the sauce his wife ruined because otherwise it would have been thrown away, and that I expected 40 pounds of replacement tomatoes. They left. He came back with the tomatoes, an apology letter from her, and an apology carrot cake, my fave. But I told him that I stand by my decision. Now my parents got involved, since I'm the only one that usually hosts. And since she is not allowed in my house, I told them to make alternative plans for Memorial Day. My husband says that I'm in the right, but my parents say that my reaction is way overblown. So, am I the asshole?
Yes, a little bit. For me, I think I like that you blew up and you're like, because if you said it before and she hasn't listened, you blew up, you're like, no, I'm done. You're out. Don't ever come to my house. She kind of needed that, like, to know, like, hey, this chick's serious. She probably was just saying, like, please stop. Like, don't do it. But now she blew up and made it a big deal. But after they brought the actual replacement and then a carrot cake on top of that, that's when you're like, okay. That's when you accept me back. You're like, so you know I was serious. And if it happens again, it'll be done. But thank you for apologizing. Thanks for the extra tomatoes. Don't touch these ones.
Oh.
Oh, don't touch these
Don't
ones.
touch them.
Or I'll kill you. I'll take your life.
See this knife behind my back?
But I'm like, yeah, I think the apology was good enough where you're like, okay, I did. To really do it over tomato sauce, though, even if it was 40 pounds of tomatoes, I'm like, okay. You get over it a little bit.
I think I'm in between. I get why she would want to ban, but I wonder if it could just be like a temporary ban. She obviously wouldn't say that, but she'll just be like, okay, so one holiday for her to be like, reschedule your plans. You're not coming over. Or maybe the 4th of July, like stuff like that. I don't think it would be that crazy to be like, okay, for the next few months, I'm not hosting anything.
Yeah.
And then maybe change her mind by the time Thanksgiving comes or Christmas comes, if she wants to do that.
Yeah.
I see your point. I'm like, that's a good compromise. And, but I also see where she's coming from, where she's like, I've already told this lady so many times. She has ruined my 40-pound batch of tomato sauce. And she had the audacity to say that she's adding flavor.
I wonder how bad, from the sister-in-law's perspective, how bad it was that she's adding all those seasonings in there. That's crazy. When someone's cooking, you just don't, unless you're like helping them, don't interfere.
She was.
Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, so she explained it to us.
Yeah.
And the sister obviously didn't know what it was for, so she just thought she was helping. But her interfering and not even asking beforehand of like, hey, I did try some of that sauce. Do you want me to like help you out? So even that, like, just like, why do you think you have the audacity to come into my kitchen and start adding seasoning to my food? It's not like you're not even eating this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And I know specifically, like, I've made spaghetti for people. You like season in a way where like you under season because you don't know everyone's taste. Like, I have to undersalt because I something's wrong with my mouth and I eat so salty food that I can't even tell that people are like, whoa. So I'm like, even in your head, like, I know what kind of seasoning you like. It's crazy to do. Like, completely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I do actually like the one holiday, like,
Yeah.
nah, we need to cool it.
They figured that out.
Also, 40 pounds of tomatoes, that's too much, right?
Yeah, like
Well, it's like a year's worth, I feel like, of like batching.
That's
Like
crazy.
you just do it all at once for whatever you ever need.
how it'll affect the future with this one instance. Cause like that'd be kind of wild. Like 7 years later, she's like, yeah, she's still. I don't really talk to her because of what she did that one time with my 40 pounds
Yeah.
of.
7 years is a lot.
That stuff happens all the time. It's like you get mad over some dumb thing, and then you're like, yeah, I won't talk to you for 20 years.
20-year ban because you decide to season my 40 pounds of tomato sauce one time.
Exactly.
with turmeric.
With turmeric.
I feel like she has a vendetta with turmeric.
She did. She outed turmeric.
Everything was fine. It was the turmeric that really got her.
Don't ever put turmeric in my stuff. I don't even know where we go from here.
We go to the next
Do
story.
you just read?
She doubled down. We go to the next story.
Am I the asshole for backing out of paying for my sister's wedding dress over a joke she made?
Oh my gosh, people are petty today in these stories.
I love
dude.
it though.
These stories are so petty.
They're great.
I had an incident on my wedding day back in 2017 where my former fiance abandoned me and ran away with his pregnant mistress.
Oh,
That image, those details are forever ingrained on my mind, and I'll never forget how I felt that day. This was truly a turning point in my life. My family has always been there for me, so I kept close to them. My younger sister is currently engaged, and her wedding will be in a few months. She's struggling with money, so I decided to help her and her fiance and pay for the wedding dress. This allowed her to be able to buy her dream wedding gown that cost $7,000. It's a lot for a dress, but she literally cried because she wanted it. This happened a few days ago before we agreed to go buy the dress. We were eating dinner at my parents' home, and my cousin and aunt were there. My aunt was asking my sister about the wedding, and my sister said that everything was going according to plan, and then casually laughed and said, let's just hope he won't run away with a pregnant mistress or something on our wedding day. I was blown away completely. She laughed, and my aunt laughed too, as if it was a joke. She was basically mocking what happened with me in my wedding. It happened so fast that I got up and started screaming at her, calling her an idiot. But my parents asked me to take it easy. She said it was a joke, and she didn't think that I'd react so intensely. My aunt remained seated, and my cousin asked me to calm down and drink some water. But I grabbed my stuff as I was getting ready. I told my sister that she was getting $0 for her dream wedding dress, and then I walked out. I heard louder commotion as I walked, and my dad and cousin followed me outside trying to talk, but I asked to be left alone. Me and my dad spoke too, saying that I was too harsh on my sister over a joke, and said that I know this is how she is with her dark sense of humor. They said that she's been crying after I decided to back out of helping her, and they said that this would ruin her wedding. They want me to reconsider my decision, since it might damage my relationship with my sister, but I refused. Did I overreact? Did I overreact, guys? Did I overreact?
I'm on the attack.
But that's just a fact.
Hey.
Because I overreact.
Hey. Clickety clack.
Did I overreact? Info. It's my aunt that would usually bring up what happened from time to time and say stuff like, if what happened didn't happen, you would have had at least 2 kids now. Or, do you know what day it is? Your wedding anniversary.
Oh my God.
It's harsh, but she stopped doing it eventually. Maybe my sister is being influenced by her, but still, it hurt the same, and more coming from my own sister. That was really harsh for her sister to say.
Yeah.
I don't think she's the asshole. $7,000, well, I guess I don't know. $7,000 seems like it's a lot for a dress, though.
I like how we all looked at Sam.
We're all...
Sam, is that a lot?
I guess I don't know. I've been to weddings, but I'm like, I don't have no idea.
Because I feel like
based on reality shows I've seen, I'm like when they were 90 Day Fiance, they're like around the $5,000, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're paying around that much. Well, I can say this as a person with a somewhat darker sense of humor, and realizing that even if I have the sense of humor, it doesn't mean that everyone does, and there are lines that you can cross that even if it's a joke, it doesn't matter if it's a joke. You can't say that to some people; they just won't take it the right way. So I'm like, I've had to apologize, like, I was in the wrong. Like, yeah, this was too far. I know this was past your boundary, even if it was funny to me. Mm-hmm. And it is probably funny because I said it, but it's still wrong.
Yeah.
What?
Your intention doesn't matter if it hurts the other person.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's also like, it would be funny, dark humor, if it came from OP. Being like, hey, just be careful. Make sure,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say it. How long had it been since it happened? Did you say 5 years? I heard that randomly.
In 2017, so yeah, 6 years ago-ish.
Okay.
So it's not fresh. She
Oh
could
my
have got
God.
it.
No, but I'm like, truly, is there a time where you can like joke about that stuff?
I would say if the person themselves,
Yes.
like Madi was saying, like if the person themselves are joking about it, like
Once they make a joke out of it, then everybody can.
Then it's fair game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so if she made a joke last year, now people can just do it regardless.
If she's laughing at herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, situation is situation.
I would say give it about 1, 2, 3 jokes before you're just okay. Because then it's like, if they can joke about it more than once, then, because after that first one, they could just joke and then just get triggered and then go home and just don't talk about it for another 5 months. But it's like, if they're like, oh, yeah, this happened. Like, I had one friend that had recently got over a breakup. I forget what he said. He said something so wild. And I was just like, why did you say that? He's like, I mean, I don't care about it. And so I joked about it. He's like, and we just laughed for the rest of the night.
Then he's like, he started crying. He's like, no, it's too, never mind.
No,
you
I wasn't ready. You should have said nothing.
You got to give it 3 jokes.
You didn't wait. I was only on round 2. But no, yeah, I think if they joke about it more than once, then maybe test the waters. Don't go like super 0 to 100. Don't go super, let's make sure that this one doesn't run away with the pregnant mistress right away, maybe. Maybe just start with divorce or something. Or runaway joke, but not necessarily a husband.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Another comment. I really like this. That's how she is, and this is how I am. People tend to make more excuses for the squeakier wheel.
Ooh.
Well, that's it. That's all the stories.
Would you pay for your sister's wedding dress?
What?
Would you pay for your sister's wedding dress?
If I had the money to, and she needed me to.
Would you?
I would never pay for my sister, ever.
If I had $7,000 lying around and she needed it, I'd be like, yeah, sure. If you need to put $7,000 into a different wedding or a down payment on a house, whatever. But if I didn't have $7,000, I'm like, Hannah, I'm sorry, but that's your wedding. Worry about it yourself. And I can say that because I'm like, I'm your little sister, and I'll say that to your face,
Yeah.
So
you wouldn't expect her to get you a wedding dress?
I might ask because I'm the youngest.
You're like, I kind of deserve it.
I'll be like, is there any way you could like put the down payment on this dress? Could you say yes to it for me? But if she says no, I'll be like, cool.
But she takes your clothes.
She owes you.
Yeah, she absolutely owes you.
That makes me think about that sweatshirt that doesn't fit me anymore because she dried it too much.
It's so nice too. I've seen it.
So thanks guys for coming to the Comfort Level podcast. Oh. We will see you next week. Bye.
Sam, get in here. Bye.
Bye.
Brandon, you're hurting. Brandon, you're hurting.
Good
Brandon,
voice,
I can't.